the former heavyweight champion, former television champion, the untouchable Jeremy Vane. Jeremy, good to have you back here for this North American title match. I know you're familiar with Shaun Tempers, but you've become very familiar recently with Casey McKnight.
Yes, I have, and it's funny you should point that out, Bill. Ever the antagonist you are.
I am not. I'm simply pointing out that last week in the main event, you were taking on Kyle Matthews, rematch for the heavyweight title. Jimmy Rave came out, offered a belt. Kyle Matthews refused to use. You hit the VDT, and then Casey McKnight decided to make his presence felt. Referees saw none of it. End result, Slurpee kick in the corner, and retaining the title was Kyle Matthews. You lost your chance to regain the title, and quite literally because of Casey McKnight. But I got to remember, it was a while ago where you decided to, without provocation, attack Casey McKnight in the back, keeping him out of Rampage Pro Wrestling for nearly a month.
Without provocation.
That I remember.
That man embarrassed me for all the viewers at home.
By defeating you?
He embarrassed me.
Twice?
All right, let's talk about the NWA North American title match. By the
Lock
way,
by Casey McKnight takes down Shaun Tempers, the Temptation. We saw the Temptation spray for men being utilized, and I'm assuming that's a cologne that you use on a regular basis.
You smell that? You smell that? I figured you would notice it right away. I'm surprised you're just now saying something.
Contains some of his own man essence.
You know, Shaun Tempers' DNA is just an incredible scent, and if you ever get close enough, take a whiff, because you'll enjoy it. Trust me.
Well, it is the scent of a champion, Shaun Tempers has said. And fans, I've mentioned before, if you go to YouTube, do a search for Temptation for Men, you will find the national commercial for that particular product. I'm assuming it's available for purchase through Shaun Tempers Enterprises.
Yes, and I can have my man Harold hook us up with those.
Right now, though, both men centering in the ring. Casey McKnight, who's been on the radar of a lot of wrestling companies since joining Rampage Pro Wrestling. Drop toe hold, takes down the champ. Quickly, Casey McKnight, who doesn't rush in everything. Style somewhat similar to yours, Jeremy, to give you both credit. Both of you are not guys that rush around in the ring. And well, reversal right there by Tempers, beautifully executed. I was saying both of you have a tendency to have a slow and a deliberate style. Look for your opportunities, capitalize, and then take advantage. Yes,
I mean, you know, I'm a thinking man's wrestler, and so is Casey McKnight. That's why he's been able to, you know, come up lucky more than once against me. And you know, I got to give him a little bit of credit. You know, it takes more than good luck to pull that off. You know, he might make a name for himself someday, but right now, I mean, he's just living off the fruits of his labor by embarrassing me.
Well, and quite honestly, as we talk about the reputation that's made, the reputation's made by the quality of competitor that you defeat. He came to Rampage Pro Wrestling to take on the best. That included taking on Jeremy Vane and the various other matches he has had. Contests with Kyle Matthews, in the ring against Jimmy Rave. He's been in the ring against the best of Rampage Pro Wrestling, and he's been relatively undefeated so far.
Relatively. That is a ticking top.
Well, right now, back and forth between these two competitors. Waistlock control here by Casey McKnight. Neither man rushing. And remember, Shaun Tempers, as champion, does not have to defeat Casey McKnight. It's McKnight who has to defeat Tempers to become champion.
Right, that's true. But, you know, I've known Shaun Tempers for years, and, I mean, he's a fighting champion. There's nobody that would rather come out of Rampage Pro Wrestling today with a win than Shaun Tempers. As a matter of fact, we discussed a little strategy a little earlier. So I am very much looking forward to watching him return the favor of embarrassment.
Drop down there, drop toe hold, though, takes Tempers down right flat on his face. Quick grabbing a hold of the left arm is Casey McKnight, wrenching it back, having hooked the fingers, and now he puts leverage on the shoulder simultaneously, putting a lot of pressure on that left arm. Continues the grab on the wrist, now using the shoulder, wrenches it through, taking it around, and tries to go into a hammerlock, cut off by Tempers.
You know, since I'm back out here on commentary, I wanted to point out that over the last few weeks, a couple of months, since I've been out here, the ratings are so high during the segments that I am helping you with commentary that they have offered me a pay raise. Dr. Gayton's even offered me a free eye surgery should I ever need it, just to help you out here.
Well, it is generous of him to do that, and we do appreciate having the major stars of Rampage Pro Wrestling come here and join us on commentary. I know Ben Masters would prefer to remain in the seat, and we miss him when he's gone, but having you, having Sal Renaro, Rob Adonis last week on commentary certainly brings special insight into what's going on in the ring that certainly Ben Masters and I don't have at the level of experience that you have.
You know, those chops from KC McKnight, there's two men in this company that I would almost rather chew broken glass than take one of their chops, and it's Kyle Matthews and it's KC McKnight.
Well, and by the way, in fact, Sal Renoir on commentary last week during the match said that one of the things he learned about you, both working against you and with you, was that you're not a fan of the chop unless you're delivering them.
He said that?
He did.
On television?
He did.
That's inside trade secrets.
Well, it was probably you moving around the ring quickly to get away from Kyle Matthews' chops that sort of identified that.
I was not moving. I had something in my eye. I was not trying to get away. Going straight for the gold, Bill Behrens. I don't know what match you were watching.
Well, right now what I'm watching is Shaun Tempers has taken over on KC McKnight, has him compromised, and now he's going after the left arm and doing his own kind of damage. McKnight, though, staying with the man, now trying to take the leverage off, rolls through, now reverses, goes behind, has him hooked, and takes him over. Drops a knee hard on the side of the face of Shaun Tempers, goes for a cover, doesn't hook the leg. Mistake there, but it's probably a little early to think he can pin Shaun Tempers.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaun Tempers is not given an inch, not this early, not on this night. Shaun Tempers is the NWA North American champion for a reason and has been for quite some time. Mr. Behrens, you may have the
nearly a year he's
dates.
been champion, won it in a tournament with quite a few contenders from here at Rampage Pro Wrestling. Ace Rockwell involved, Kyle Matthews, Corey Hollis, J-Rod, all involved in that tournament, as well as other major competitors. He came out on top of that tournament. It was soon after that he was part of another tournament to determine the new heavyweight champion with Jimmy Rave, Chance Prophet, the national champion, himself as North American champion, and the eventual champion, Adam Pearce. Since, of course, Adam Pearce has been defeated by Colt Boom Boom Cabana, the current world heavyweight champion. As North American champion, you are one step away from that world title. That's why the North American title is so desired by athletes.
These two men better watch that 10 count, because there's nothing like slugging it out and forgetting all about the man in the striped shirt. He can count you out in a heartbeat, and before you know it, your opportunities are gone.
Tempers not rushing. We saw last week Tempers, as he was in a very competitive match with Cedric Alexander, Tempers able to defeat Alexander when it looked like Alexander had everything going his way, but out of nowhere hooked him with an extremely strong version of the neck breaker.
Yes, he did.
Reminded me very much of the way you utilized the VDT.
Well, great minds think alike.
And I know that KC McKnight, coming into this particular match, has to be aware that that maneuver could be captured at any time for Tempers, who has proven, in my experience, to be able to grab that out of almost any situation and almost any place in a match. So it's one of those maneuvers, regardless of how he's been compromised, no matter how much punishment he's had, that Tempers can go to at the drop of a hat. And again, I have to compare that to the VDT.
Well, you know, Tempers, he's, you know, that neck breaker's been influenced by a lot of the greats, namely Ravishing Rick Rude. However, I don't think anybody's ever executed it out of nowhere quite the way the NWA North American champion does.
Now forcing the foot down on the throw to KC McKnight. McKnight smartly going to the outside. I've seen you take advantage. Some people might think that that's an act of cowardice. I've always thought it's smart professional wrestling, taking advantage of the rules. The 10 count is certainly simply a smart situation when you've been hurt. You need that time to move around, get your bearings, but also slow down the pace of the match.
I have never used any psychological tactics in a match to slow it down or to get away from anybody. I never step away from the action. I'm always full, you know, nose to the grindstone going forward.
And even if you did, you'd never admit it.
You know, I'm sensing a little hostility here. No. Behrens, is there something we need to talk about?
No hostility at all. Simply, I've been watching the career of Jeremy Vane for quite a few years, and it is an impressive career for sure.
All right, you can stop there.
But not all of the time does Jeremy Vane do what he does by following the rules to the letter, rather taking advantage of the rules. Certainly is the case, but that is professional wrestling. The rules are there for a reason, and if you can perform within the rules and still be victorious, you really can't be faulted for that.
Or if you can just step outside the rule book and not get caught. I mean, kids listening at home, this is a great example from your former RPW heavyweight champion, Jeremy Vane.
And kids, you really don't want to do that. So please pay very little attention to what you're hearing from the former champion, Jeremy Vane.
There you go again.
Right now, though, Casey McKnight has fought back from what looked to be a very difficult situation, and now uppercut right there, reminiscent of Dory Funk Jr. Forearm hard in the corner now, throws Tempers off, comes off, drops down. Tempers, though, was prepared for him right there, goes right back to that arm and takes him down hard.
You can't get anything past Tempers. He saw that coming a mile away. You watch him slow down coming off the rope and focusing, keying in on that arm. And Casey McKnight's right back down,
Look at McKnight, though. He's backing away, and he's trying to turn his body to protect that arm. Smart now on the ground, very similar to the way Antonio Inoki ended up fighting Muhammad Ali years back.
Yes, sir, in the Tokyo Dome. I was there. Second row.
I don't believe a word of that.
Here we go again.
How old would you have been?
I was 6. What year was that? You know, my memory fades over the years.
And you are a young man.
Right. 21.
Wait a minute, now back on his feet. McKnight, forgetting the pain in that left arm, is now encouraging Shaun Tempers. But honestly, by having Shaun Tempers focus on the face, it's allowing him to rest that injured arm. And you see he's still not using that left arm. He's trying to distract Tempers away from that as he lands blows. And now he is back using that arm with short jabs. But you can see that he's having trouble getting any real pressure going. And now that hurt his own hand.
Yes, I'm sure Tempers would prefer to be hit with that left arm as many times as possible because it's obviously packing less of a punch than the right arm.
Uppercut punch there. Now he's got Tempers up. Tempers, a big man, rolls through all of his body weight from the shoulder, but that hurt his arm in the process. Very good. Cover, doesn't hook the leg. That's twice now I've seen Casey McKnight not hook the leg, and I think it's advised he start doing that when he's got him in this position. You can't be lazy on those covers with a champion like Shaun Tempers.
Well, he's not being lazy. He's got one arm to work with, and he knows that, you know, he's very limited with the one arm that he has.
Right there, hooks him, suplex.
Oh!
Good maneuver there, goes for the cover again, but you're right. But I would think that right arm can go around that leg. He's trying to put pressure down, though, so I guess he has to decide where to exercise pressure when he knows his left has been compromised. Now up to his feet, spending way too much time talking to the referee, is giving Shaun Tempers an opportunity to do just that. Back elbow as he comes in. Tempers comes through, flying forearm to the back of the head, catches him also on the side of the jaw simultaneously.
Like his jaw bounced off the mat.
Wait a minute, he's got him hooked. No!
Come on, Tempers!
Back elbow.
There you go, there you go.
Back elbow, back and forth. Both men threatening to finish the other one off, but neither man successful. Back and forth, and this match has been going quite a while here. What a tremendous match we have between these two competitors. Our main event on this hour of television, joined here by the former champion. Well, I'm no longer joined by the former champion, Jeremy Vane. Hope Ben Masters is somewhere paying attention. Ben, Jeremy Vane has left us. Hopefully you can get back on. Wait, Ben Masters rejoining commentary. Ben, Jeremy Vane has left. And the temptation for men, he just sprayed in his face, Ben.
Can't believe he took that spray and just sprayed it right in the eyes of this man, Casey McKnight. Casey can't see now.
Roll through, has him hooked. There's a 3 count.
Jeremy Vane obviously blatantly interfering in a match. You have no business out there. I should have knew there was a reason he was out here.
Jeremy Vane saying he did absolutely nothing. Fans, you saw what happened. Ben Masters, you saw what happened. Tremendous main event.
Believe it.
Casey McKnight looked like he was going back and forth. The champion had a real opportunity in this main event on Rampage television.
What is that smell? You can smell it over here.
It's the delicious scent of temptation for men. Fans, we've had a tremendous hour of television here. First win for Leon McMichael. We saw rave